Welcome back to Crystal Clear! I'm Ostrich Vox, and what the heck is inside Lion's treasure chest? The Steven Crewniverse is great at playing a very cruel game. For over 4 years now, we have been taunted with such a simple yet intriguing mystery in the show. First appearing in Lion 3 Straight to Video, and after a few more times traversing into Lion's Mane, they finally drew attention to it in the episode Lion 4 Alternate Ending, when Steven attempts to open the treasure chest with his giant pink key. However, the first act of Steveniverse the movie just kinda slaps us right in the face, as when Steven transports into Lion's Mane in order to take a shortcut into Beach City, and once more not drawing any attention to it, the chest appears, but it's wide open. It's not elaborated on, it's not even alluded to, it's just there, wide out in the open. So naturally, everyone's wondering, well, what's inside? I have a few ideas of what could be in the chest, some exciting, and one being something no one wants to hear. But that doesn't mean it's not worth digging into, so with all that said, let's dive in. Alright, so possibility 1 is the most popular idea at the moment. Many people suspect that within Lion's treasure chest lied Steven's brand new jacket. That this stylish pink varsity jacket was actually Rose's final gift to our titular hero, meant for Steven to obtain once he reaches a certain age. After all, Rose wanted to give Steven the full human experience. And in her time hanging out with Greg, reading comics, and watching some films that would have been pretty hardcore 80s, Rose could have began to form the idea of how humans should live in her head. I'm talking Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Dirty Dancing, The Breakfast Club, Back to the Future. Heck, if the story of Steveniverse begins in around 2013, 2014, Rose and Greg's relationship would have also went through the 90s. And yeah, considering Steveniverse takes place in an alternate history, these films may not exist exactly as they are, but some iteration or parody of them do. It's cartoon logic 101. The point is, I imagine when Rose consumed all of this quote-unquote human culture, she would have taken all the tropes and cliches at face value, which includes everything that comes with the significance of turning 16. So in addition to crafting a video made just for Steven, Rose could have also whipped up or at least commissioned a pink varsity jacket made just for Steven. Thinking, when he gets this, he will be peak 16-year-old. Nothing will get in his way. Now, of course, there's the obvious question of, well, how did Rose know this would fit Steven exactly? Because when you look at it, it is a pretty good fit. But at the same time, Steven isn't exactly the tallest 16-year-old. Heck, it looks like Connie still has an inch or two on him. But for that, I would argue that this jacket could have played a role into Steven's growth spurt. We know that Steven's physical appearance is reflective of how he feels mentally, so it's possible that he could have achieved this varsity jacket at a point where he was already growing, but the first time he put it on, it didn't quite fit. However, the gesture was so meaningful to Steven, he viewed it as such a huge symbol of growth, that as he continued to age, he mentally adjusted himself to grow into the jacket perfectly, leading to the fashionable hero that we see today. But in this scenario, you may be wondering, how did they even open the chest? And for that, I see two possibilities. The key was actually inside Pearl's gem, but considering Pearl didn't even know who Lion was when Rose passed, she was probably pretty confused. Hey Pearl, hold on to this. Oh, thanks, what is it? Wait, Rose, why is there a baby crying? And possibility 2, literally any gem, but probably amethyst, could have just shapeshifted into the perfect mold that fits into the chest, allowing Steven to unlock it. Surprise, surprise, for gems, it'd be a pretty easy task to just unlock anything, so if you take any of them off, and they know where you live, you better watch yourself. But wrapping that up, this takes me into possibility 2. The chest won't be explored in the show, but in the upcoming video game, Unleash the Light. Steveniverse Unleash the Light is a sequel to Save the Light, which was a sequel to Attack the Light, and so far the first 2 installments in this trilogy have been considered level 2 canon. As in, they did happen. All of these events are canonical, but the Crewniverse brainstormed something up later that contradicts the games, then the games would no longer be canon. However, as of this year in the Steveniverse podcast, Rebecca Sugar has just referred to Save the Light in itself as canon. Not level 1, not level 2, it just is what it is. So pairing up that change of tune to the fact that Unleash the Light will also be co-written by Rebecca Sugar, and going off its first screenshot, will take place after Change Your Mind, so thus within that 2-year time skip, it's possible that Sugar felt that this chest could be explained in a game, thus giving people incentive to play it. Not much is known about Unleash the Light, and we have no idea why the light creatures are back as enemies, especially when Save the Light has 2 endings that you can choose from, one where Steven keeps the light prism, and one where the prism goes with Hessonite. Not to stray off topic, but it is possible that Hessonite could be involved once more in this game's plotline. And whatever the light is after, it could involve something with the chest inside Lion's Mane, setting Steven and the Crystal Gems on a mission to find the key key and retrieve whatever's inside. Now I can also see how this could rub fans the wrong way. We waited years for something to be answered inside a video game, but I personally dig the idea of Steven Universe having this expanded universe, where things you see in this show could be expanded on in other media, which is exactly what Save the Light is. Heston Knight first appeared as a crude drawing within Centipeto's flashback in Monster Reunion, only to appear as a fully fleshed out, fully voiced character later on in the video game. So it's not unprecedented for the show to introduce something that gets fleshed out in other media. However, this takes me to possibility 3, and the one that people probably don't want to hear. They don't know. Remember how I mentioned the Steven Universe podcast and how earlier this year Rebecca Sugar referred to Save the Light as just canon? Well, an episode of the podcast also released this year with the Crewniverse discussing Lion's treasure chest, stating that they still have debates on what this chest could be to this very day. Now, it is very possible that this podcast was recorded in late 2018, or just because it released in the beginning of the year, it could have been something they were still figuring out at the time, but shortly after submitted a plotline in which the chest's contents could be fully explored. But we should keep in mind there's a huge chance that they just still don't know what's in the chest and they don't really care. Like, if you told me they just put the chest in there for looks, I would totally believe you. Not everything in a show has to be planned out, even Steven Universe. It's okay to improvise things. Bismuth is a fan favorite, a beloved character, and she wasn't even in the original story outline. You know her first appearance in Lion 3 in the Bubble? Yeah, the Crewniverse confirmed in a different episode of the podcast that they didn't know who Bismuth was when they did that. Sugar just thought it would be cool to put a bubble gem in there, later fleshing out and establishing Bismuth as a character. Does this make the show or Bismuth inherently bad? No, it's just storytelling 101. So many good stories out there don't have anything planned. Other great stories only have a few plot beats, and yeah, some, like Avatar The Last Airbender, has most of the plot beats already planned out, but none of that determines if a property is good or not. I only say all of this because I know by putting this on the table, it could upset a lot of fans. I think a lot of us, for a long time, had this grand version of Steven Universe and its crew in our heads. A version where everything is planned out, everything is perfect, but the truth is, that's just not entertainment. There's a lot of factors as to why Steven Universe is, well, good. Some of those factors were pre-planned story beats, but a lot of those factors were just improvised. Things that came to life as the crew came together, as different people leave the crew and join the crew. And that can be said for almost any television series, any movie. So, honestly, while I am hoping something is inside Lion's chest, I'm also prepared to just never find out by the time the series ends. But whatever it is, it could be something personal to Steven. And if we could at least get that confirmation, I'd be pretty content. Not every mystery has to be solved. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. What do you think? What do you suspect is inside Lion's mane? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at OstricVox. We're also on Instagram. So Art with Coda for creating an awesome thumbnail. For more of his wonderful art, you can find him on Tumblr and Instagram at Art with Coda, and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Link down below in the description. Help the Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. OstricVox, signing out.